The RCF, the Recurring Client Finder Program. This is specifically for house cleaning companies. And how it came about was that um, it became my belief and my conviction that the best way to grow a very powerful cleaning company is to add 10 new recurring clients every single month. Um, that's not to say we ignore one-time cleans, but we extra focus on the recurring clients because it just feels really good to work one time, getting that client and having them stay for 3, 5, 7, 10 years. Um, I haven't had the 10 years yet. Custom Maids, my cleaning company, we acquired that in 2020, about 70 days before COVID hit. But it is a company that has been in the community of Bay City, Michigan, since 1982. So it's a long-standing, great, strong company that we took over 3 short years ago. And we applied our client acquisition strategies, systems, and methods, whatever you want to call it, that we had used for my mom's cleaning company when we started um, from our humble beginnings. So now we wanted to marry our client acquisition system with people who are already operating a well oiled machine and they're already taking great care of clients and their own employees, and they've already got processes and systems in place to absorb an influx of 10 new clients every month. Um, Growing by 10 a month is not it's not aspirational. Um, it's quite simple once you get the processes in place, and it's just operations as normal then. But if you aim for that 10 and you zoom out over the long term, you've got a strong, very powerful company that's tough to knock down. Um, so if that sounds like you can go ahead and keep listening. If you're already here 2 minutes in, I must have said something to pique your interest because um, I mean I know how I am on social media. If if something does not hold my attention and it has my conviction, I'm scrolling, I'm gone. So let's talk about the RCF. The only way you're seeing this video is I'm probably going to put it on YouTube. But if you're on Facebook, it's because I'm sending it out to a very small group of people who already watched a short promotional intro video of the RCF. I don't know if you're going to remember it, but it was this one. But it'll ring a bell. It's the only program. This program is the only one that's designed to get recurring clients specifically and does so without requiring ad spend on your part. Management fees, you're not going to pay any of that to us. It's literally zero risk for the member. You only pay when we sign a new client when it comes to the RCF program. And all one-time leads, all one-time leads are totally only after recurring. So the one goal, 10 new recurring clients every month. We're here for the long term. I want business owners, I mean, to find those business owners who are aiming to take over their market area. We're looking for a growth target of 1 million a year. That's about $83,000 a month. If you have that growth goal in mind, we would love to see your application come through. There are other things we look for other than having a growth mindset, of course, but that is a that is a key component of it. So let's dive into a little bit more about what the RCF is. I'm likely going to answer a lot of the questions you have now, and I'm going to show you some of the assets we have built. A couple things make this quite different. So yeah, there are a lot of lead generation services, a lot of client acquisition services or programs, if you want to call it, but they won't focus on just recurring, and they definitely don't. They definitely will require payment before they even start working. This is totally performance based, so You're going to be getting leads, you're going to be getting estimates, and you're going to actually service a client, a new recurring client, before you ever pay us anything. And that is called a finder's fee. Let me see if I just right here, I posted it right here. The finder's fee. It is a $250 fee that we collect once a month. Well, not once a month, sorry. It is a one-time fee that we invoice members once a month, basically. And if we acquired 3 clients through the program with you, we are owed 250 each, so 750 for that batch of 3. But at that point, you've already serviced 3 new clients. You already collected their invoice. So if, let's say, someone signs up and they say, oh, I just want a one-time clean, and then you end up upselling them to a bi-weekly service, that would be eligible for a finder's fee because we found them for you. Now, this program, what we look for, we are going to provide all of these opportunities. You must convert them. We are not going to handhold on lead conversion, client conversion. This must already be in place. And if it isn't, your application will likely just be sent into the pile. Everyone who's sent into the pile will be given a free coaching program to then improve the company and be eligible for the RCF. But put simply, we cannot be sending leads to you if you are not going to take care of them properly. It's just, it will not work, and we will end up expelling you from the program. So we have a very strict application process that we adhere to. We want to make sure that our members become incredibly profitable quickly, and we need to care about your clients, because if we care about your clients, everything's going to fall into place for you. You're going to stick with us, and that's what we want. If we only ever care about you but really don't put a focus on your clients, that area will suffer. Therefore, your results will suffer, and then you will leave us. So we don't have a choice but to care about your clients. And we can't bring someone into the program. We can't bring a new member in who doesn't already know the importance of quick response times, time to lead. Like, you can't reply to a lead and after an hour that they've reached out and expect to win them. You've got to be on it. 80% of business owners wait more than 24 hours. So you can see, like, you can get an idea of how attractive this program begins to be, but then how many people we actually want to bring in. We're aiming for 50 members by December 31st, 2023, and having those 50 ramped fully and gaining their 10 a month on that pace by July 2020. Sorry, yeah, 2024. I got confused with the 2023. We need to have these 50 members in by December 31st of this year, 2023, and then by midway point of the next year of 2024. We need to be at having those 50 all up to a pace of 10. And again, the finder's fee is only paid out for new recurring clients won through the RCF. It's only paid when the client is required, making it a performance-based award, and that client has to pay the invoice. So after their first visit, after they pay that invoice, inside Nurturely Plus, inside we give you a whole software platform to manage all of this, tracking, analytics, the works. It's so easy to manage all this. It's like kind of fun to do, honestly. So we have all that set up there for you. So you mark that as you won that opportunity. And then we handle the rest. It tracks it for you, and we give you a log list so that you can see everyone who's come through the program, who you've paid a finder's fee for. So you're just always in the know, and the whole process is very transparent. So we have this document. It's 20 pages, and this basically talks about the RCF. If you want this, I will send it to you. I am not going to go through it right now. I will send it to you in an email. If you comment on this video somewhere, hey, DM me or whatever, I will reach out to you to get your email address. Or you can I'll have my email address in the comment section or the text portion of this ad or this post. So find it there. Get in touch with me if you want this document because I'm not going to go through it now. It talks about introducing the RCF, understanding the whole program, getting started, and then using Nurturely Plus, maximizing success, troubleshooting and support, blah, blah, blah. The finder's fee, we already touched on that in the glossary of terms, the entire, all of, like, everything. So you're going to get, like, best practices. This is like a handbook on how to convert leads even, and how to manage sales opportunities. So even if you don't want the RCF, like want to apply for the RCF, you could still check it out. Like this is totally free. So you don't have to apply. This is like, if you just want to look at this, basically, I don't have the time to go through 20 pages right now. Just because I want to go through all these tabs up here and I want to show you what's there instead. This will be for another video. Again, comment below if you want this document. Say, hey, I'd like the RCF document. I will get it to you. Okay, this is where the application is. It's got that same video here. Designed to find new recurring clients. Here is the application. It talks about the RCF briefly. Applies, boom, goes from there. Then we have our application process, where we review the application to see, most importantly, it's the follow-up process. If you have a strong follow-up process, you're going to get a second look. If you have a strong growth goal or revenue growth target, we look for that as well. We want to find members, potential members, who are they want to take over their respective market areas. I don't want someone that's ever going to throttle the campaign. That was one of the major negatives of digital marketing agency. I've been in this space for 13 years. So when you get a campaign rocking and rolling and you're getting leads and you're getting estimate requests and you're like, okay, are you ready to, ramp up and we can go to the next level? And they say, no, we can't even handle this right now. Literally the worst thing, because when you'd have to dial back, sometimes that can blow up a whole campaign. And that's what a lot of people don't get. You can turn it back on, but it's not just easy as turning the button on anymore. There's things you've got to do to get it back to that status. So one thing we cannot have happen is campaign throttling. If you do, you're gone from the program. You will not be allowed back in. There's no questions asked. I mean, that is the only thing in this program that will anger me. If you start to say we're getting overwhelmed with opportunities and you don't find a way to fix it, that will, like, anyone who makes a decision about new applicants, I have a board that does this. That's the only thing that angers us, is the throttling. So we have made our application process extremely strict. We take our time with it. So on the follow-up question, take your time with it. All the other questions are multiple choice and you're hitting buttons and whatnot, and quite standard. Take your time with those, because at the end of the day, we're giving away nearly $6,000 a year in ad spend at minimum. You can take your time to go through this application. It still will barely take 10 minutes, but think about it, $6,000 a year. If you had $6,000 a year in ad spend, you would barely know how to generate a lead. But we're going to take that $6,000 ad spend of our own money, then give you software and use it better than anyone else you can find in this entire world. That's what the RCF is about. So if you want to find recurring clients and you're in a strong market area, we can't really do this in a city with 1,000 people with no one around. A good rule of thumb is taking your headquarter location, your centermost headquarter location, and 30 miles around there. Now, if like you're in Los Angeles or New York, that's a bit different. So if you need help determining that, let me know. You need to have basically 75,000 people in your radius for this to work. 75,000 to 100,000 is about the range. Anything more than that is gravy. It is really tough to operate at scale with what we do, how we do it. Not saying that I don't know how to generate a lead in a smaller town. I'm just saying that it needs to be big enough where you're not going to throttle me for a very long time. So that's the RCF, the application, what we look for in an application, the board with who I make the decision, with who we make the decision to bring in. We look for a strong response to that follow-up question. So just, I'm sounding annoying repeating it again, but I mean it's quite important. I know there's that glare on my glasses too. I need the blue light blockers. I'm sorry if that bugs anyone. So I'm going to go through these tabs and I'm just showing you the assets that we have. The first one is custom aids. This is my flagship, our flagship company. There's not much to show you here, just to kind of like tell the story of it. On this one, I use this here. It's the custom aids domain. I thought, why not build a website on it? But I have this one here, Michigan Home Cleaning, that I really hammer SEO home for, or home with. So this is the one that I make sure that the address, phone number, the hours, all the links are prevalent, all the CTAs are there. It's benefit rich, it's value rich, it has testimonials and social proof. It's good for the social or the search engine bots and for humans. So I have two websites kind of feeding this one. This is not like a PBN. If any of you are familiar with SEO, this is not a PBN. You're like allowed to do this. I don't have a network. It's literally just these two. So number 3 is another website. These are all going to start to look similar, and I'm going to show you why. Custom Aids, this one is in Bay City. This one is in Visalia, California. ca.customaids.co. So it looks like Michigan Home Cleaning, but it's on the main domain. This is our satellite location in Visalia, California. I used to live there for 5 years, from 2015 to 2020 before coming to North Carolina. And I have a dear friend of mine out there, and we are looking to take over California, or at least the Central Valley. California is completely enormous, so we have room for plenty of members in California, so do not be discouraged. But she is in Visalia, so if you're in Fresno, Visalia, and probably Bakersfield, I won't look at those applications because we will have that taken care of. That being said, you're more than welcome to submit the application, but I don't think that we will be interested in any members in this immediate area of California, in the immediate Central Valley. So these are the assets of our company. These are our digital assets. They live online and they have links pointing to our office with which sales opportunities come. And I'm of the opinion that the more you have of these online, the better you'll do. Not to ignore anything that's done offline, but you can do anything online from sitting in a chair, from a computer screen, anywhere in the world. I am operating in Visalia and in Bay City from Huntersville, North Carolina. So we also have RCF members in Denver and in Denver, Colorado, and Dayton, Ohio. We have assets in Wichita, New Orleans, and Wichita, Kansas, New Orleans, Louisiana, and Richmond, Virginia. Unfortunately, those 3 members are currently on probation and are likely to be expelled simply due to lack of software use and poor performance, poor follow-ups. And I will show you that on this last slide here. I will show you the stats for those current assets. Okay, on to individual assets that with which we don't currently operate. So I have a Lubbock cleaning service asset. It's quite plain. All I did it for was to get it online and get it indexed, get it on Google, because when I meet someone in Lubbock who wants to really rock and roll, I'm going to swap out the logo and the colors to match their branding and change the wording a bit here to match their branding as well, and direct every single opportunity and every single lead over to them. It's super simple, plug and play, but this way, if I were to take someone on, I don't have to wait for Google to kind of trust this domain. This was actually built a year and a half ago, so it's kind of sitting there waiting and it's ready. And same with Huntersville. I built this a year after I moved to Huntersville. I actually don't even know anyone in the Charlotte area yet, So I'm considering opening a Custom Mades North Carolina, and I have some friends here that are up in the Raleigh area that I have planned for that, but we will see. I don't know how that's going to go. So we are definitely taking applications for North Carolina, so do not be discouraged with that at all. A bonus if you are in Charlotte, I would I'm here, so it's not like I have to fly or drive anywhere to meet you. Like we're in the same area. Next here, these are the three that we have. These are like so these are all quite similar, but see how I change these? These are all exactly similar except the colors. These two I use the same colors, but you can see the logos are different. Sorry if that's freaking anyone out. I'm sorry if that was weird. So I don't really identify any of the members, but if you go to their website and did a bit of digging, you could probably find who they are. Um, we brought them on in about January, and we just really haven't heard much. And we didn't really have an application process then. And one of the things we also look for now is that, should have said this earlier, we absolutely look for at least one full-time admin or office staff. You can't be the one working in the field taking calls and texting back sales leads. It has to be someone else, or it has to be you that's not in the field. Like it can't. It just doesn't work. The whole I didn't make this up, but I know you've probably heard it before. You have to get to a point where you are working on your business. You're not working in your business, and if you're in the field, you're working in your business. Um, Even if you're doing the billing and the admin and the estimates and talking to people, you're working in your business, but you're at least making you're a step in the right direction. Eventually, I'll show you how you can outsource all of that and have it find people that can do it better than you can. That's the whole goal. Like that's how you ultimately trust that everything is okay. You find people that are better than you at those specific jobs, but then you just take care of those people and they take care of your company. It's quite simple. It's just people are greedy. Okay, so that one's Richmond. So basically, a rule is like if you go to if you type in a metro area dot house dash cleaning dot io, you're going to find a market area or the asset with which it lives. That's not in everyone. Like I don't have anything in Texas right now, so if you type in Dallas, it's not going to show anything. It's going to be like, oh, it's an error. But if I go back and type in Richmond again, the next one is Wichita. What's this one? Oh, this is New Orleans. So if I go New Orleans, oh, so if it's two words, you got to put the hyphen. It shows up as this one, which is the same thing here. So this is what the asset looks like structurally for you. So it's not in your best interest to tell people about this website for you because whatever comes to this website, I can track. The program can track every single visit to this website, every single click, and of course, every single lead. So it knows everyone that comes through there. So if you tell people about it and your friend comes through there, but they were in Nurturely Plus, so they're in that software and they're tracked, I will not like there's nothing I can do. It will be charged. So don't tell anyone about this like that. We are going to be funneling internet traffic to it because that's our strength. But you should not be telling anyone about this, or you can tell people about it, but do not tell them to call this number or to fill this form out. Do not do that. That will cost you money. That will cost you money, and I won't feel bad about it because I've warned about it already. You'll be warned about it again, but don't send them here. All right. So we went over the assets that we have. Let me exit out. RCF program application. Here's that doc. Again, if you want this document that talks about, the whole program, it's a living, breathing document. So it might be best if I just share this link with you. Right now it's not even possible. So I'm not going to share that publicly unless you ask for it. So like this program is going to maintain integrity and not just going to throw it around like that. So if you want it, we're happy to give it out to anyone who wants it, but I'm not just putting it out there for anyone. Um, Lastly, our dashboard. This is the RCF scorecard. And this is an all-time view dating back to January 1st, 2022. So as far back as I could go. The annoying thing is, okay, CMBC, CM is custom mades. CM Bay City, custom mades Bay City is the main one. Custom mades California. That might be CMCB next. I don't know. Because that's just custom mades California. But they're in the Central Valley. But we do not do San Diego or LA or San Francisco. Um, the estimates delivered for custom made Bay City is super underreported because it's like impossible to give less estimates or fewer estimates than it is to win clients. And every one client that comes through, it includes one-time cleans. So I'm measuring your ability to, or a member's ability to efficiently close and acquire a new client. So to explain some of these here, the first three columns, OVR, ACQ, and RCF. OVR is an overall score, and that just simply it adds the ACQ plus the RCF. The ACQ is the member's ability or efficiency to close, and this is a score over time. If you're in the green, that's great. It means it's profitable. It means it's strong. RCF is the program score at getting you an opportunity. It's efficiency to do so, and also how many it has done. So you can see here, this is a massive RCF score, but it has like quadruple the opportunities anyone else. So Custom Made Bay City is rumbling simply because it's been operating longer than the others have. CMC started basically May 2023. There's some data in here from end of 2022, but it's quite minimal. Quite minimal. RCF Denver and Dayton are the two actives. Wichita, Richmond, and New Orleans are on probation and likely will be. Honestly, if I were to hear back, Richmond is expelled because I've had an applicant come through, a very strong application, and it was wild that it is wild that this person is also in Richmond. So all I got to do is swap some text out, swap the notifications and the automations. We don't even have to build anything. The campaign is already built. It's literally plug and play. So we're ready to rock. On these last three, you can see Wichita only had 24 opportunities sent to them. Excuse me. They delivered 3 estimates. I apologize. And so there's a positive score there, but really, if there's a 0 here, it's a negative 5,000. It might as well be, but I don't have a way to reflect that there. If you don't have an acquired client, it's really, really bad. We're in the recurring client finder program. So below that, I have campaign stats. And this was previously confidential information, but you know what? Transparency is the best. This program is going to be operated with the utmost integrity. And in pursuit of that, I believe that there should be 100% transparency. So the ACQ score is the primary score that we should be paying attention to. Then the RCF, that one has nothing to do and no bearing on a member's standing within the program. The only score a member needs to worry about is the ACQ. The overall, that's like a really fun metric, honestly, because if an RCF score is low, that means it is more difficult to generate a lead there. That doesn't mean the campaign is worse. It just means that it's perhaps more competitive in that market area. Ad costs are more expensive, stuff like that. And I can show you below. And it's easier to take the 3 with the least amount of data. So Just by that, what I just said there, I see New Orleans, Richmond, Wichita. New Orleans is negative 162. Like, I know that it was harder to generate a lead there, and I can see it reflect to the right here. There's only 11 opportunities, but I also know that the ad spend was quite similar. If I scroll down to see Richmond and New Orleans, ad spend, it's not similar. Wichita and New Orleans even closer. I mean, this is similar in the grand scheme of things. Richmond had less ad spend than New Orleans, but had a better score. So it was able to generate more opportunities for a less ad spend than in New Orleans. And that reflected here in the cost per opportunity. It was nearly double in New Orleans. Um, and then there's a cost per acquisition. It's at 0. That's actually terrible. That means there's no acquired cost. You need to have a cost here to have like this score be activated. And that's cost per acquisition or acquisition cost. How much does it cost? How much does it cost to bring on a new client? And this number doesn't measure only recurring. It right now measures recurring and one-time cleans. You know what? We're focused on recurrings, but as a member, I care about your company as a whole, as the board does. So we want to help you out and incentivize it that way as well. We want to show you acquisition costs in comparison to show you how it affects the ACQ score. If, like, you know that the finder's fee is $250, right? Well, if the acquisition cost is higher than $250, that's not healthy for the program. And while the main goal is not profitability, it has to be there as a component of the program for its own long-term success, as you can understand. Um, that being said, our RCF Denver location, there is nothing to worry about there. Um, that was our first one that we really hit the ground running with. So we had some growing pains and trials and tribulations with automations and which ones to use, which ones to not use, how to say certain things. So there's January, February, March, and half of April where it has poor performance here. April, May, and now half of June, we've been doing great. We're gaining momentum. Um, so this is kind of the highest level overview of the whole program, of the RCF scorecard. As members get added, they will be added to this scorecard as well to see how they rank. And for now, it is just an all-time score. Eventually, we are going to be having quarterly challenges, basically quarterly podium results for second and third, where you're awarded a medal and you each place earns a certain prize for that quarter as well. We want to incentivize our RCF members to do well within the program and kind of create accountability with people that aren't competing with them, yet they have the same pains and the same problems as you do because they're in the same industry. Like, someone in Dayton isn't my competitor in Bay City with respect to custom aids. So we have the RCF program to build out all these satellite locations where we all can work together and share our tips and tricks and get better that way as well. But we can do so without fear of competing with each other. It's kind of like what franchises get, but we're not franchises. Most of us are not franchises. It's okay if you are, and it's even adds to the strength as well. But if you're an independent cleaning company, you're only going to really get to know the cleaning companies in your immediate area. Some of you are in Facebook groups, and that's absolutely terrific. I mean, Facebook groups can be really, really good, or they are a giant cesspool of like horror. I just can't even be in them half the time. So RCF is a better way to also network with other members. Potentially, I should say. I haven't necessarily introduced anyone to each other yet, and I will have to take that will be more of a board decision. I can't really make that decision whether or not we should make that, like, if members should remain anonymous, or if we are going to include that networking portion. Because at the end of the day, our main goal is recurring clients. We're not here to like build a friendship community. Although it's great to build a community, I'm going to make sure that recurring clients are the goal. It has to be. The integrity of the program has to be maintained. So, again, that is a high level overview of this recurring client finder program. If you come to the RCF page, it's facebook.com//RCF program. We've published basically that document in a bunch of chunks. It's not perfectly organized, but you can see it there for free if you don't want me to touch your email address. And there's one with a bunch of Q&A. It's a lot of text, but it's a lot of good information. If you prefer that document, again, reach out, comment below, above, or wherever, and I will get you that document and I will share it with you that way. So you also have the living document, so it has the updates and whatnot over time. If you want to apply, if you feel like you are a strong candidate, if you like what you hear, and if you don't hate me already, head over to rcf.nurturely.io/application. I promise I'm not an arrogant person. I just have an incredible amount of respect for this program that I ultimately created, but I did so because of the importance of building such a powerful house cleaning company. And it's time to take over the country. We want members along with us. We want strong members who share this vision, and we are going to get there very quickly. Hop on board, rcf.nurturely.io/application. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.